So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can highlight rows or cells based off of whether it's greater or less than a certain cell. So for example, here I have a list of students, I have their grades, I also have a pass and fail option. But let's say I want to have an area where I can just type in any number I want and I can highlight whether it's greater than or lower than that grade. So for example, maybe I want to see all of the grades that are greater than, or like I'll highlight all of the students that have a grade higher than 90%, then I can do that in here. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Super simple. Now you want to decide whether you just want to highlight this cell by itself or the entire row. If you want to do just the cell, you would just select the range of cells that have the grade in it for this example. If I wanted to highlight the entire row, I'm going to select the entire range. So then that way it highlights both the name, the grade, as well as their pass or fail status. So I want to make sure I have all those selected as well as any of the other students. So totally up to you which ones you want to do. Now I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and then under Format Rules, we're going to select the drop down and go all the way down to Custom Formula Is. And now I want to do a formula, which is equals. And what I wanted to say is if this cell is greater than this specific cell, then I want it to highlight. So I want to reference this first cell, which is C6, but I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of the C, and then I'm going to put my 6. So the dollar sign's only in front of the C because that allows it to automatically take this conditional formatting rule and pass it down to all the rest of the cells that are in the C column, but it allows us to change up the row. So it can automatically like do it for row 7, row 8, row 9, but only based off of column C. So that's why the dollar sign's only in front of the column and not the row. Now I want it to do greater than because I only want to highlight grades that are higher than this specific number in this box. So when we're referencing a cell, and we only want to reference that cell, you need to make sure you put the dollar sign in front of both the column and the row. So then that way that stays an absolute reference and it doesn't adjust ever because we're only comparing it to this one specific box, which is an F6. So I want to make sure I put in my dollar sign, F dollar sign 6. So no matter what happens, any number that's put in here, it will always reference that. It'll never change. So as you can see, it's automatically start highlighting anything that's above 90. So now I can choose my formatting. Maybe I want to make it this yellow. Maybe I want to bold it. You can italicize it. You can do whatever formatting you want here. But when you're ready, you can click on done. So now I can get out of my conditional formatting rules. If I want to change this to only show for 70 and above, I can change that number up and it will only show me for anything above 70. So it's a great way to easily see like who is like in the high 90s or above a certain number. Now we could do the exact same thing, but we could do it with lesser than. So if I only want to see what's failing, let's see, I want to see anything that's less than 60, I'm going to write in my 60 here, but I need to change my formatting rules. So I'm going to select the range of cells again. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting. It's going to pull up my little sidebar here. Now I already have my rule in here. I can actually do 2 rules if I wanted. If I wanted to do a certain color that goes above that number, then it could show this color. If it goes below that number, it shows a different color. Up to you. You can do as many rules as you want. For this one, I'm just going to select my original rule. Instead of having my greater than sign, I'm going to do my lesser than sign. So anything that is lesser than 50, it's going, or sorry, 60, whatever's referenced in this cell, it's going to automatically highlight. Now we have a little issue here because it's automatically highlighting anything that has a blank. So if you have a list of students and let's say you have some blank names in there, it's going to automatically highlight those. So to avoid doing that, what we need to do is add a little bit more of a formula. And don't worry, I'm going to copy and paste it below as well. Is we are going to do and, so in between the equal sign and our first dollar sign, we just want to put in the and formula. So I'm going to do AND, then bracket, and I'm going to put is blank, bracket, and then I want to reference the very first cell where it has our grades, which we're basing it off of. So this would be C6. So I'm going to do the dollar sign, C, and just 6. because we want to leave it open so the rows can change. And then I'm going to put in my right bracket, and then I'm going to put in my comma, and then I'm going to put in my right bracket over here. Nope. What did I do? I need to do not. This always happens when I do these things. Yeah, I need to do not is blank. Ugh. We always have to add in extra formulas. So anyways, you can see now this is, I'm just going to show you, you might as well learn from my mistakes. So as you can see, it's saying, hey, if this is blank, as well as any numbers that's below this number, it's going to highlight. So it's still highlighting all my blank ones. And I don't want that to happen. I want to do, say, if it's not blank and it's under this number. So that's where my mistake came from. So I'm going to put, I do have my and, because remember we did, it has to meet both of those options, whether it is blank or it has, or sorry, and it has a number below 50. It has to match both of those because we're using and formula. But I forgot to add in the not is blank because I wanted to show only, I only wanted to highlight areas that don't have a zero or don't have like it blank. So now I need to do a not formula in front of the is blank. So I still have my equal sign and left bracket, and then I'm going to do not left bracket. Then I'm going to put a right bracket at the end of my is blank because we need to close that off. There we go. I will paste this down below. Don't worry, you will have it. So it goes to show like, hey, as long as this isn't blank, so that's the not is blank, that's that formula. And as long as this number here is less than this number here, it will highlight it. Sorry, it might get a little confusing. Sorry if I confused you a bit. But that's, this is the formula. And I will copy it below. So then this way it doesn't highlight any blanks just by accident. And we can change the formatting to whatever we want. Let's say we want to do this pink, click done. And now let's say Rhonda got a 58. It's automatically going to highlight because it's below this number. Now, if I change this number to 50, it's not going to highlight anything because nothing is below 50. If it's below 55, it's going to automatically highlight Sarah because she has a 50 and vice versa. So you've got your different options there. So if I click on my rule again, you can change this to be greater than or less than, up to you, whichever way you want to go. But that's how you can actually base conditional formatting based off of a number or something else that's within this cell here. So yeah, most likely a number because we're using greater than and lesser than. But anyways, many different options for conditional formatting. That's why some of these videos, I'm going to have a lot of these videos because there's a lot of different things you could do with conditional formatting and each one needs different little formulas. But yeah, so this is a great way. So if you want to compare it, let's say if you want to do for budgeting, overspending, expense trackers, anything that has to do with numbers, this is a great way to do it. So you can highlight anything that might be over a certain amount, or maybe it's a certain percentage if you want to get it over a certain percentage. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions. I will include all the formulas down below so you can copy and paste those and use them in your conditional formatting rules. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.